Hi, I'm Christine Cushing, and welcome to another helping of my favorite foods. Come on in, pull up a seat, make yourself comfortable. We're about to cook something amazing with my own little twist. Who's ready for Loukoumades? Loukoumades, Greek amazing donuts, crispy on the outside, light, airy, tender on the inside, drizzled with beautiful honey with a little extra something on the side. Are you ready? Let's go. Step one, just getting the dry ingredients together. You don't need any fancy equipment for this, all done by hand with just a little handy dandy whisk. I'm adding instant yeast directly to the flour. That just takes away one step, which is much more easy. Now a couple of teaspoons of sugar, really just going to give a touch of sweetness and activate the yeast. And going in with my buttermilk, in addition to some warm water. Now you're also going to notice there's a range in the recipe, so start with the lower amount of liquid and then add more. You want to err on it being a bit lighter. Bit of vanilla and an egg, which is a bit controversial. I like to add an egg because it does add some structure. If you want it to be super, super loose and more hollow, omit the egg. But I find it easier to work with. I always add the salt at the very end, just so it doesn't come in contact with the yeast. Now the texture I'm looking for here is just something that's got a bit of stretch to it. So I'm developing the gluten just a touch, but I want it to be super tender so that when I fry them, they are going to be super crispy on the outside, but very delicate inside. They have to really be just like a bite of fresh air. Bite of fresh air? No, a breath of fresh air. All right, never mind. They're amazing. That's all you need to know. So now I just want to let it sit for about an hour to an hour and a half, depending on how warm my space is, until it doubles. Okay, of course, the buttermilk is my twist. The buttermilk adds a couple of things. It makes them just a slight bit more tender because of the acidity, and it does add just a little bit of a tangy note, which is a great complement to the honey that's going to be drizzled on top, and the cinnamon. Oh, and the extra special thing. I got one little extra special thing I'm going to add. So now I just want to set these diced, beautifully diced and lightly caramelized apples aside to cool down. This is like a perfect recipe to make for guests to blow them away, and you really can kind of let it rise as you're having dinner and then fry them fresh, dust them with a little cinnamon. Oh, it's so incredible. Okay, let me see what they look like. Oh yeah, bubbles, that's what I'm looking for. Starting to get excited. In preparation for frying, I'm gonna get my oil heated. Now I'm just gonna say right now, I don't use gloves. My hands are washed always thoroughly. The gloves I find really get in the way. I can't really feel the dough. So if you wanna use gloves, go ahead, but you really should just wash your hands before you do it, before and after, and then you're good to go. So here my oil is at about 340 degrees, which is about 170 Celsius. That's the ultimate temperature I found. Now just using my hands, remember I said it's going to be a bit messy, it's a bit weird, but this is the easiest way to just kind of get those little scoops in. Now if your oil is too low temperature, then they're going to absorb the oil and they're going to get dense and heavy and oily. If it's too hot, they're gonna burn too quickly. So you wanna really get that temperature right. Oh, look at them starting to float. And I like to get them a bit of a, dark golden brown, probably about 3 or 4 minutes. Look at how airy these babies look. Can't stand it already. You want to drain them maybe on a paper towel. Oh, look at this guy. This guy's perfection. Oh, drizzling with some Greek honey. And here come those cooled apples. Look how phenomenal they are. They do add such an interesting touch. Heaps of cinnamon. I mean, mounds of cinnamon.
Who can't stand it anymore? Oh! I'm not going to eat this whole thing by myself, but I am going to taste one. You got to make sure that you get the little pieces of apple in there. Whoa. Ridiculous. I use that word a lot, but this is ridiculous. The crunch. And remember, when you have an opportunity to use honey instead of sugar syrup, why not? This is screaming for honey to me. I don't want to put sugar syrup on here. The honey gives so much more texture, really, and I'm not eating that much sugar. And you probably use less honey than you would syrup. Did I mention how good these are? Close your eyes, flavor of apple pie, but then you open them and you think, oh, I'm eating Loukoumades. I'm getting a little bit crazy now, more crazy than usual. So phenomenal. I just got a nice bite full of those apples, a little bit caramelized. You gotta make these. Let me know how they are. Let me know what's happening in your kitchen. Share, like, subscribe. Thank you for joining me again. Let me know what's happening in your kitchen. Let me know when you make these, because you will. See ya.